Oh, phone's vibrating. Hello. Just mute everything here. Mic sounds good? Awesome. Oh, man. So don't mind the dark grass. It looks like lighting was trying to bake. Unity is going to be a little choppy as well. But, so I tried actually something recently. Oh, Virus. Thanks, dude. All right. Thanks for the resub, man. So I started, I turned the size of these floor pieces. Here, let me turn the selection. These floor pieces are half the size. I think that's what I did, yeah. Oh my god. There we go. Yeah, I started making the floor pieces half the size, and they actually seem to be doing better as far as, like, resolution. Oh, man, curious. Thanks. Martin, what's up, man? How's it going? I need some more volume. Dude, I got a new light. Thanks, Curious. Dude, 7 months. Yeah, 2 more to go. A baby is incoming. Let's see here. So I can, like, make this light super bright. It gets ultra bright, like, and then I can change the temperature of it. So I can do it like a cool light, and then lower it down here. It's a ring light too, which is kind of nice. I don't know that I'm getting like close enough that you can even tell, but whatever. This is about this big, just sits right around my camera. Mr. Freeze edition. Oh, right. Hang on here. There we go. That works for me. The dude staring right at it, it's pretty brutal. Anyway, so I started scaling these down just to see how they look, and the resolution is much more consistent with the props around it. So I'll probably go through the process of shrinking these down. Just for the sake of, like, when you're working in games, it's usually better to, instead of, like, you see how I've scaled these here. You don't want to scale things too much in an editor or in Engine. You want to scale them, like, to their proper size so that you have consistency across your game more often than not. So, like, if it's actually this size and you need it to be like this, it's better to actually scale it down in your 3D package. Just FYI, your tech art team will love you more for that. All right, so let's see here. What am I gonna do? You think texel density can save you? Let's see here. So I think I'll go in here and keep going on this stuff. I started experimenting with it. Where are we at here? I apologize that the Unity is choppy, but you can see the vines down here. Oh man, come on. Controls are messing with me. So these are them. Obviously the AO is a little strong on it. I think I can albedo, smoothness. This would probably give you a little easier way of viewing it. So I'm just kind of blocking out the vines that I'm baking. Kyle, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, so I'll go ahead and keep doing that, and then I'm baking them. I'm baking all those maps out in Substance Designer. Let's see here. Okay, so And you'll wonder too, some people were asking last time I was streaming, however long ago that was, like why I have these like gridded out like this. And it's just so I can like think about, like if I go like this, think about this as your texture space, your 0 to 1 space. And like these little negative spaces here are like where that texture would end. So like you can see these end here, and then down here these end past that point. So for this one, this would be extra long vines and whatnot. So let's go ahead and keep going on this. Sounds still good though? Is it pretty different when I turn my head like this versus here? A bit, but not terrible. Jet, what's going on, man? How you feeling? So one thing I don't like about these ones is just the shapes that they're giving don't really feel, just doesn't feel right. Like when I look at it here, like I'm relying too much on this curve. I mean, maybe they'll be okay. I don't know. One thing to know too is like you could take, you do the wireframe here. So we could go in later and select polys here, and then like you duplicate the faces off, and then apply that that vine material on there, right? Only enough strength to watch the stream, dude. Hardcore. But like, so if you dupe these polys off and then you push them out a little bit and then curve it away like a skirt, it just kind of comes out. You can use you can map these vines to your previous roots and just kind of expand on that. Pixel, what's going on? How you doing? Hola. So let's do that. The other thing too is I'm kind of interested in one of them tiling, so trying to think how you could explain that. So let's try that. I'm gonna make a new mesh container. Just put that at the top here. So if we So you can see where I have the points that go outside of the space, and then I'm going to bring one right below this other edge. So I've got kind of duplicating the same look on both ends. If you do that, and if I copy it, make a new container, paste it, I think here, and then snap this corner to this corner. If I can get this to line up with this, or combination of the two, like I could probably instance this instead. Let me do that. Let's try that. Oh, whoops. Oh man, it's been a while. I haven't been in Moto. I've been doing other things at work. Instance clone. There's the clone. Okay. Yeah, so good. Yeah, okay, so when I move these around, you see it's happening on the clone as well. So we're gonna find like an in-between that works, where like, I'm just gonna fudge these values a little bit. Man, I need to get my FFD modifier into here. Yeah, so you see what we're doing there. Oh shit, I can't select that. Pardon my French. Okay, so these line up pretty close. So if those get close enough, you can weld those together, and then you can, that's basically like a tiling spline, right? So I can take this one and delete that. So as long as we have that happening on both ends, we can just tile that stuff, which is pretty nice. So let me think here. So what I want this strip to be is a tileable piece. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is instance clone. I'm going to do it twice. What? I'm like, why isn't it not letting me move? That's really weird. There we go. That was freaking weird. There we go. Whoa, wait, can I? Oh man, that is freaking cool. I did not know that. So you could snap to your instance. That's awesome. So if I delete those ones. There you go. Cool. So because we're in this mesh container, anytime we draw in here, it should. Yeah, see that? Dude, that's awesome. Okay. I don't know why it's going under it now, though. Oh, that's confusing me. I'm doing good, man. There's a conference you're going to tomorrow? Oh, wow, that sounds awesome. Are you getting more into the procedural bits of Moto? Not really right now. I mean, I'm not doing anything complex enough where I feel like I need it. Okay, so I'm like, why is this a problem? I wonder what's deciding that it's going to be at that height. So I think for the ease of this process, so I'm going to snap to the background, which is this plane here, while having this mesh container selected. And if I start up here, what is going on? That is freaking weird. I just want to see. All right, I'm actually going to get rid of this group. I'm going to bring this group down. Let's do 5 meters. Okay, so you can see what's happening now. Because I start outside, way out here, as long as I start out here, when I come in, oh my god, that's confusing the crap out of me. This is awesome though. I never play with stuff like in this way for I'm basically trying to plan out how I tile this. Oh, I see what I'm doing. So if I, this is kind of weird. So if I try and make the seam happen in here, I would start up top, and then I would start again down here. And as long as these two meet, it should tile. That's very confusing to me, though. Graffiti, what's up, man? There you go. That's kind of working. So see where these are meeting up? Later I'd weld those together, and as long as I can clean that seam up, then that tiles. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you start outside of the space, and then go up, and then just reconnect it back near itself. So that one tiles too. It's pretty close as well. Couldn't you just subdivide your elongated guide mesh and snap to them? Yeah, you could. No mesh operations. I just instanced the mesh once, so it's like above itself. It's just offset by like a tile. It's not like a really complex system. I'm just like, my brain's still a little... Oh, it's the other way around. If you start at the bottom. Anywho, that's kind of cool. So maybe if I, so one thing to watch out for, remember I'm always talking about like equal spacing. Watch out for those. So we need to get away from that. Let's increase the radius and add a really big one in here. Yeah, I'll be baking these out. They'll have like alphas and all that jazz. Whoops. Oh yeah, because it's only tiling from the top, I'm gonna have to start down here. Oh. Thanks, Moto. I'm not even, no. Are you a photographer and you take pictures of nature, architecture, and inspiration? Yeah, dude, take pictures of everything. Everything. I don't know if this is gonna repair that file, but let's see what's here. No, just this eye. So I actually let me duplicate instance. Yeah. Move the pivot here. Man, I have the hardest time moving this when it's the instance for some reason. Because it wants to select. There we go. Wait, that ain't even. No. There's no autosave? I mean, there is, but I don't have the iterations up enough. It's also crazy rare that you get a crash. So your question about the photography to take pictures of nature, architecture for inspiration, like just absorb as much information as possible from everything around you. Let me see here. Like today I took a picture of this. I don't know if I can. This is just outside my apartment. It's like down the street. I should have taken video because it had like a natural motion to the leaves and stuff. But yeah, Dude, when we moved into our place, it was only taking up like this little corner here. So it's like, I think it's quadrupled in size in 2 years. What's the other one here? There's this motorcycle that I saw this morning, or this afternoon. I'm not even really into motorcycles, but it looked freaking cool. What's up? And then, of course, too cute, too cute. Hey. But yeah, I mean, this was the yesterday. Look at this one. Look at that resolution. Nom 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 nom. It's good stuff. This is while I was waiting for the bus. Anywho. Yeah, it looks like Substance Designer, doesn't it? Okay, let's offset these two. Just gonna put it down there. Who's this guy taking photos of stones and everything? Yeah, screw those people. They don't know. They don't know what it's like. I think it was the mesh constraints that I was doing. That's what caused the issues. Oh well. I'll just save more often. Do you have a portfolio on Artstation? Spot game developers on holiday. Taking pictures of random stuff, dude. It's so true. Pixel, are you asking me about portfolio? I think if you write ! portfolio, it should pop up. I need to start dumping stuff into the blog from what we're doing on the stream. I think it'd be easier for people to follow what's going on. I don't know, does that sound interesting to you guys? I don't know if I need to do that or not. Whoop. You think it'd be cool? Yeah, we do need to update the website. I actually want a true website. Like schedules and stuff like that. Start setting up interviews and all that stuff. Oh man, I got so many things in my brain that I want to do. Just no time. So I want to add like a really big vine in here. Maybe like, let's see if I can't. Yeah, maybe just a little bit bigger. And I want to have it overlap. Just get these lined up here. Close-ish. Whoa, that tag though. When making UVs, if you want to stick to specific textile density, you should. What should I do if I ended up with free space in one of my tiles and I don't have more objects to fill it? Leave the space free. Don't worry about it. It's okay to have space free in your UV. Like basically pixels, unused pixels. It's okay. It's not favorable, but it's fine. So you need to be careful with non-square UVs because mipping really screws those up fast. The way mipping works essentially will it looks at like, so say you have a texture that's 1024 by 2048 long. It's going to mip on the smaller ratio of that. So it'll mip that texture down as if it's a 1024 as you get further away from it. So, and you're not getting further away from it more often than not because the texture is longer, right? Or wider in some cases. So it's usually better to stay square. And if you need to, say you have a really long banner. Yeah, even 512 to 1024, the mipping's going to be even more noticeable just because it's lower resolution. But like, if you have a banner, for example, that's really long, average out the ratio of that banner to like, say the banner is like 1 meter wide by 4 meters long. That's a 1:4 ratio. And then in that case, you would do like, you could do like a 256 by 1024 would be like, so those would be 256 tiles and for each of the meters. But if you need, like, obviously you need a high res, so it would be a 1024 by, or a 512 by 2048. Later graffiti. And if a texture can't be long like that, so what you actually end up doing is cutting the banner in half and putting the other half of the banner to make sure the texture is squared. And then you just UV the top part of the banner to one side and the other half of the banner to the other side. And it'll be seamless, and you'll basically avoid the mipping problem. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to make another, well, I need one more primary vine. No, I'll make it in the other mesh container. So I'm making another mesh container just so that I can get the interaction between, because you know we have the background snapping on. So by making another mesh container, you can have it now like conform to the vines under or above it. Let me make sure that these vines are aligned well. Like for example, this one is not. So we'll turn that off and then we'll bring this down. That's a good one. That's funny. Nice joke, bro. No. So you see what I'm doing? This is a little bit of a hackiness. You'll also see like when I add a cut, it's lifting it a little bit. That's just because I have the preserve curve checked on. Let's go ahead and grab this. Let's do that. So that's kind of interesting. Just different heights and stuff. Might be worth grabbing random loops and just lowering them. Or maybe whole segments. So if you lower this more, then in the height map, right, those areas are going to be lower, which is kind of interesting looking. You gradient it off. And as long as I don't touch these end pieces, we're fine. Oh, dude. The edge slice in Moto is freaking amazing. Just a little preview for anyone who's like, what's that? So let's go ahead and add a cube here. So, oh, whoops, hang on here. Turn preserve off. So you can see I'm adding these loop cuts, right? Alt C does an edge slice or a loop, but Shift C is like a slice plane, and you can move it around. You can see it just cuts wherever you put it, and then you've got your extra geo. Now, one of the things I really like about it is like you can select a poly. I don't know if I assume Maya can do that. So selecting a poly allows you to like use that as like a temporary mask. Yeah, I assume Max can do that as well. So by selecting these, you can actually use those as a mask. So see how I can move it around with it just maintaining inside of that space. That's always nice. So if you need like randomly you need a cut somewhere, or if you need to make sure that the cut happens, hang on here, from one point to another, you can even snap the plane. So if you want to guarantee that you're connecting these points, you can snap the plane to those. Yeah, there's some nice stuff in here. One thing I really like about it, I don't know if the other ones do this, but so I'm gonna just invert this and delete that. So when I do that slice plane, like obviously when you click outside, you can slide it around, and if you hold shift, you can just keep doing it. Whoa, easy. And then you see I've got all those slices. But you can do the slice, but then add a split. So now they're two separate pieces. You can also, you can do the slice, but then you can add a gap, however much you want. So this is what I would do actually for broken glass. So add the gap there, and then see, I can move this around, and then I move these pieces around and just kind of get them where I want them. There's also a shatter that you can do in Moto, but we'll look at that another time. The other thing too is if you extrude this up, you can thicken the polygon, which will automatically add a cap. But then, if nothing's selected and you do the slice, you can see it's slicing all the way through, and now you can cap the sections too. So you can just do that, and it'll maintain the UVs inside. It's sick. I like it. I like the tool. Oh man, 303. Thanks, dude. 7 months in a row, dude. What the hell? You're too kind. Thank you. Oh, that's cool game art. So after learning any 3D program, it's obviously, in my opinion, going to be easier to pick up another 3D package, because then you're just like, okay, I used to do this in Modo. How do I do it in Blender, for example? Knowing something previously and then trying to replicate it inside of another tool is much easier than not knowing what the button was before and then trying to figure out how to do that. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's save this. So I've got the other mesh container, and I'm just gonna do this with the background constraints on. I'm gonna start up here. You can see it's like conforming to the. So I'll have to soften that up a little bit too. And I love churches. This sounds so good. So where this is happening, we're going to need to go in and make sure that this doesn't look too weird. Like, for example, those points are a little too close together. We're going to have to get those away. And then the other problem is, see where this is ending? It's ending over here. I'm going to copy it and dupe it into this mesh container just so I can see it here. And then we're going to go back to the original. So this is going to be a little weird, but so as long as I end somewhere over here, I'm trying to basically make a vine turn into two vines. Okay, so wait. Okay, so this one. Paste it to this. Okay, and then we look at the top. I should really be soft selecting this stuff. It's like gonna be just easier. We see like this one here. Turn the constraint off. As long as these ones line up or close, then these two can actually connect and cross over each other over and over. I can't even remember if, I don't think Modo does have a FFD. Let me look. It's been ages since because I don't usually make stuff like this, right? For work and stuff. Because there's a plugin that was made by that here. I'll link it in chat. That Warren Marshall uses. I need to download that. Dude, the #1 comment on that video is this. This got me interested in moto. Headed to the website, looked at the price. I think I'll stick with Blender and buy a car with that money. If you can buy a car with the amount of money that you would have spent on a license of moto, dude, you're going to have that car running for like, if you're lucky, 6 months. That's really funny. I do the monthly subscription for Moto, and it seems to work pretty well for me. I really like the fact that it just like when a new Moto comes out, you just get it. It's just like when you're subbing for a Substance for algorithmics tools. Okay, so I really like all these vines. I need to do some small ones now. So I turn this one on. I'm going to delete these. I want the little tiny guys. Because like we have, when you look at it, we have all this wasted space here. You don't want to use it all up, but we need to use some of it. There's this too, I just linked in chat. Anyways, I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me while I was not able to stream. That's super cool of you guys. You're hot? Dude, I'm in this closet with no windows, with 2 lights on me, and a computer just cranking along while I stream, and 2 monitors like heating me up. It's quite warm in here. I think we're looking at somewhere around 28 Celsius in here. I can feel the sweat forming under my hair, which I need to get a haircut, FYI. Okay, so let's save. All right, and let's add some little small. We're gonna do some mesh constraints too. Yeah, it's warm in this closet. There's no air. Preferring non-destructive workflows. Yeah, I mean, in the end, I'm like, I don't mind all that much. Not with this type of stuff. This is like, it's so organic that like happy mistakes are totally fine. One thing I wish I could do is select this, the instance, and modify things on the instance. You can't really do that, it seems. And that's kind of annoying. So we'll figure that out later. Dude, look how cool that is. Just like this vine that's like conforming along the surface. I like that. Let's smooth it out. Yeah, dude. Yeah, see, dude, non-destructive for hard surface makes total sense. Like, you should do that. You should do non-destructive when you're doing hard surface, when possible. Who is this that's singing? It's not Churches. It's not bad. I like it. Dude, I think the best booleans I've actually seen is probably Blender. I think it's Blender is the best booleans I've ever seen. Blender's quickly becoming essentially the good things of 3ds Max and the good things of Moto in one package, which is pretty interesting. We're gonna have to see how much of the plugins and stuff that they start absorbing from outside. This actually needs to go down like that. And then I need to compensate up here. So we have the seam happening. Same with that one. Where is that one? This needs to go below. Yeah, see, now it's much easier to get this to line up. I don't need to do that. Is Blender a bit less shortcut heavy these days? Dude, so shortcut heavy is one of the reasons I like Moto. If you can shortcut everything, add macros and hotkey everything, dude, you're just going to be that much faster. I think I need some smaller micro vines in this, but I think it's actually in a pretty good spot now. Let's delete that. Let's do Oh, wow. I haven't heard this song in ages. Wow, this is weird to hear. Oh shit, this one's twisting. Yeah, fucking whatever. Screw it. It's fine. I just reach for water and there's no water. Feels bad, man. Yeah, so learning visually, that's another thing that I think comes up often when you're learning software for the first time, and it leads into why it becomes so easy to switch to another software later, is you don't really understand what, say, extrude, for example, is. But if you can visually see what extrude does, then you understand that, and then you affiliate what you're seeing visually with either the hotkey or wherever it's at in the UI. And then you can actually, I think, accelerate your learning and your speed as the modeling aspects of being an artist, or the function of being an artist in a 3D package. You can accelerate that even further by then starting to assign hotkeys when you're affiliating or you're connecting the gap between, okay, I know how to extrude in this program. How do I extrude in that program? And I'm going to just make a hotkey that makes sense to my brain for extruding. I know people at Massive that are using all three packages. It's kind of crazy. They're like, oh yeah, I use Max because of this, and I use Maya because of that, and I use Moto because I like it better than the others at the end of things. They're like, oh, all right. Man, all this music's pretty good. I like it. Okay, let's I like this space here. Right here. But I think I need something to reel it in, you know what I mean? So like that. Yeah. Where does that terminate? Between those two? So somewhere, somewhere in here. And then I'll start conforming to everything. close. Oop. It's close. We'll line those up in a little bit. Yeah, those vines are feeling pretty good. Hey, 404, how you doing, man? Sorry, I didn't see your message. How you doing? Oh, you know what? So there was some this is a very strange topic to bring up out of nowhere. There was some discussion on the Discord the other day about how difficult it is to make game art that's before we got into like PBR and procedural texturing and all that stuff. Like how the hell did they texture games like Doom and like Wolfenstein? Not the old school ones, but the remakes when they started going hardcore 3D. You know, like, how did you use Photoshop to do that stuff? So I think maybe like the last 30 minutes of the stream, I'll just kind of show some of the stuff that I did. Yes, tons of tweaking. Because it's not, I mean, it's not complicated, but it's just like, it's those things that no one uses anymore. So it's like, why would anyone remember it? And when you look it up in tutorials, like, no one's going to be talking about it because that's not what people want to learn right now. People want to learn how to use Substance Designer, even if most of the industry is not using it by hand, and it's like Substance artists that are actually using it, you know? All right, gonna add just a little bit more complexity in here. To save, and just gonna, this guy's just gonna be behind everything. Whoa, look at this guy. Oh, close. That works. I have a textbook from college about texturing, and it's like 15 years old. Dude, that stuff has probably got some gold in there. Cool. This is looking, this is shaping up to be a pretty good vine pattern here. This shape, though, I need to make sure that where it overlaps with the same thickness ones, we have to solve those ones. Like, we can't just leave those, which is a shame. Dude, yeah, even how we did things 5 years ago is like crazy. Like 5 years ago, I was like, dude, this DiNusty thing's kind of crazy. I should probably look at that. So what is expected of me in a production environment, and what's the most efficient approach? And so the most efficient approach is very complicated because there's so many things that you have to approach. And then it also depends, like, so my background is primarily from primarily from AAA production, where everyone's super specialized, right? So that aspect breaks down a little bit when I try and describe things. Like, I don't know the indie scene very well. But maybe I can help. Whoop. Oh, what am I? If I delete this one and just bring this one over. Like, oh. Like this, and then bevel. So, really, it's just, for AAA, it's like get good at being able to replicate things and make them look like what you're trying to build, and then getting really good at understanding what your I wouldn't say your superior, your lead. Get good at being able to read what your lead is saying and be able to adapt and change your work in order to fit what they're trying to get you to make. You know what I mean? Like, taking their critique and getting it on the first try, that's a forever skill. You have to get good at that. Because, like, if you can't, like, I mean, it still happens to me. If you can't do what your lead is trying to tell you to do, they're only going to ask however many times, and then they're just going to go to someone else in your team to get it done, because it has to get done. And the other thing is getting used to the idea that happens and not taking it personal, because everyone's just trying to get stuff done. That's all it is. Oh, I found another one. So you feel dumb and you get stuck on that stuff sometimes. Complex modeling. So complex modeling is like relative. Like, half the time it's not as complex as it needs to be. Or it doesn't need to be as complex as you try to make it. You know what I mean? Usually. About the bigger message above. Select all ultra bevel. Return to Castle Wolfenstein? Oh, man. So, go ahead and keep asking me questions. Maybe be a little bit more specific on some things, 404, and I'll try and answer them as we keep going with the stream. So there's this. Why is that plane bigger? That's kind of concerning. Oh, that is really weird. Okay, we're gonna just get rid of that. We're gonna hide these. Need to save too. We're gonna hide these guys too. We need this guy, and I'm going to remake the quad that we bake from. Okay, cool. Low. Bon Diesel, what's up, man? How you doing? I listened to your recent videos. Good stuff. So 404, here it's like this. Sometimes I get stuck on how to approach a more complex model. Oh, so it's like, what workflow do I do? DCG, what's up, man? So it's like, you go online and you see tons of workflows, and that can be pretty freaking overwhelming because it's like, which one's the right workflow? The first thing to really understand and wrap your brain around is the fact that there is no right workflow. There's the workflow that works best and fastest for you. Oh yeah, Bon, it's gonna be good, man. And that's it. So the best thing to do is, even if you're not sure about any of those workflows, or you're like, man, which one's going to be best for me for what I'm doing, just do one, because you'll learn that either that was the best one for you or the worst one, or it was okay. And then you'll have adapted that workflow for the next thing. So it's just a matter of just start making things. Don't worry about workflows, just build stuff. Like, where is it at? You know the Scrapbox thing that I wouldn't even say anymore. The moderators are building. And Demon, Freezy Demon. So down here, there's a Getting Started tab. Obviously, very, very work in progress, but phase 1 is kind of what I'm talking about. It's kind of titled in its likeness, and it's basically building shapes. Don't worry about building low polys. Don't worry about getting UVs. Don't worry about texturing. It's like you could do materials and stuff, sure, but like, if you can model something and it can look like what you're trying to model, then you've passed this phase. And then the next phase is technical. It's like low polys, UVs, baking. You're not even texturing yet. Just you know, build stuff. Go outside, take photos of things, have people stare at you because it's kind of weird to be taking photos of things, right? But then bring those photos inside where no one can see you and just nerd out over those pictures you took. The fire hydrant's the one I always go to. Recreate that fire hydrant. And then go outside, find like a fuse box, take a picture of the fuse box, recreate that. Take a picture of a window and like how the architecture is, like maybe there's an arch and a curve and stuff, and you're like, oh, how do you even make that shape? How do I make that shape quickly? And like rapid iteration of that stuff without thinking about UVs, without thinking about texturing. You'll get fast at modeling, that's for sure. Hopefully that's some good advice. Okay, so I've got the quad working now. So what I want to do with this quad is I'm going to split it down the center. And split it down the center again. So we know where the center point is, or the midpoint from either horizontal or vertical. And then we're going to take this clone version. We're going to kill that. And then we're going to... Where is it at here? We're going to offset. So I'm going to move this geometry. We're going to offset it to half. Let me make sure I'm snapping to the right stuff here. No, that is not. Hang on. Okay, there we go. And then if I take this, duplicate it, and then go from here up to here, now I just have to make this area work, and then it'll tile. Oh, thanks, boss. But yeah, follow like there's all those workflows, right? Just pick one and follow it, because you'll see why that person uses that workflow. And then you'll also see why it either works or doesn't work for you. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes to like just getting off of the ground with that stuff. Man, I don't even need to, what am I doing? If I just delete the excess and the caps, I should be able to just bridge these pretty smoothly. Let's save again. So bridge, there we go. And then we'll just lower the segments to like, yeah, 1 should be fine. I don't even think I need to kill the caps. So one thing I really like about Moto, because we're talking about hotkeys and stuff, is you can press F5 and you can see your history of actions. So if I select these faces, let's do this. We'll delete that and then cap this. We'll select these two and I will bridge, click, and it's bridged. So there's the bridge. Apply. Let's see here. So this is the bridge. If I right click this, I can map that to something. Control Shift E. Let's see. Yeah, Control Shift E. So let's do that. So now I should be able to select. Just gonna move this back a little bit so there's some room. So Shift, Control Shift E, and then click. Yeah. You see how awesome that, like, see, and it's recording everything, or it's showing you your history of all actions and whatnot. Target weld, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like if I deleted these, I could either do this, and then I'll use it in the proper. So there's the merge tool. You can click and then just start dragging right, and then when they get close enough together, they'll just start welding. Obviously, this is gonna get kind of hectic soon, just because they're not too close together. I usually like the bridge just because of how clean it is. Drag weld. Like this. Like that. I don't even think you need snapping on, but... Oh, maybe you do. So this kind of works, right? But then you have to do all that. I would just prefer to, like... Just move this over here. Cap that and just select these faces. Do the... bridge and then click. Dude, it even shows your hotkey that you've added here. In a AAA environment, will they expect you to use certain workflows to achieve an asset, or is it just make the asset? It depends. Usually it's just make the asset with a few key differences that usually are there because of the way that they integrate it into the engine, or some other reason, like outsourcing, for example, could change the way that you model stuff. I'm a big fan of blocking stuff out first, so that's like one of those things that you should definitely do. It's a weird little kink there. We'll just kill that. All right. That, people, is tiling. As far as I know. Let's check. So if I take that and then let's do a duplicate clone on here. Oh, not there. Hang on. It's a little hardcore because of the poly count. Oh shit. Are they not? Oh, these ones aren't. Wait, what? Okay, things are not tiling. Cross, what's up, man? So, why wouldn't that tile? That's really weird to me. I'm very confused. Hang on here. Okay, so if I bring this down here. Oh. All right, well, let's see. I want to see if this works now. So if I slice here, see the slice? We don't need the gap though. Hang on here. I'll put the slice over there. No gap. We don't need to cap the... Before I do this, I need to save. Starting to sweat in here, guys. It's freaking hot. Come on. There we go. This one needs to go there. Okay, so slice that. We're down here. Slice that. I'll just delete these. I want to see if these line up. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy and paste, and then we'll move this up here. Whoops. Huh. This is a weird workflow for me. Dude, shit. They don't. Why don't they? That's funny. I'm gonna have to solve this. Anyways, now you guys know what I'm doing. Oh my god, I'm dripping. This is bad. This is bad. Hang on. We won't try and debug this either because it's gonna get kind of gnarly. Okay, let me think about. So I offset it by 1. Like that. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, the plane's not flat. I mean, that could do it, maybe. Anyways, I'll figure that out later. I have the mesh I want, so that's good. It's not difficult to make this tile. I just need to double check everything. Okay, so we're up to, so it's 9:30. We've got 30 minutes to go. So let's, I'm going to switch over and we're going to look at some of those old school techniques I was talking about. I'll be right back. And if you have any questions, just throw them around in chat and we just talk about old school workflows.